Hey guys, and welcome back. Today I have for you this. A slightly more modern-esque home, probably more of a present-day take. Just taking it back a little bit after Hagrid's hut and moving on to something other than medieval. So this of course is the showcase model, and the end result won't look exactly like this, but it will look very similar. So without further ado, let us begin. So for the first part of this build, we're going to need our stripped oak logs and cobblestone. It's a simple 5x7, but with a little bit of differentiating in the oak logs. Like right on the side there, it's a 2x2 with a space in between. Then we go to a 5 at the top, and the little tricky part with the merged square there, the 3x3, just to connect it to the house. Then we're going to go down one with the oak log, and then across 3, and then one for the door entrance with a space of 1, and then 3 more. Next, we're going to add that last little bit of chimney there for a simple 3x3 in the back. Then, of course, a floor of your choice. I chose birch just to differentiate from the oak wood. And then for the doors, I placed the staircases in front and then a log behind just to help me remember where the doors go when I'm doing these builds. So, starting with the small square, we're going to raise those up by 4 and then connect those to a T at the top. Then we're going to raise the very next 2 posts by 5 and then connect those across. Then on the opposite side, we're going to raise those up 5 as well, all 3 of them, and then connect those across. And then we're going to go to the main door, raise those up by 3, then connect those to the top with 1 in the back. That way they all link up to the middle, and then the door at the back side is just a 3 with a 1 on the top. Next, just for simplicity's sake, I dragged some oak logs across the top of the little roof to place the stairs easier. Now the middle post needs to be risen up by 8, and then additional 5 on the sides so that they connect up to a peak on both sides. And then again, for simplicity's sake, I just dragged some oak logs across the top, so when I place the staircases, it will be a little bit easier. So for the walling and the windows, we're going to use the lime terracotta and then just fill in the bottom portion of the building only. So starting from the cobblestone and building up to the height of the logs across. Then I punched out 2 holes on both sides of the entrance, and then I went and continued to fill along even into the small building, as the small building will only have 1 window. Then I continued to wall all the way the rest of the round, as the bottom floor will have no more windows. Now back at the top, we're going to need a couple more windows, which will be mirrored on both sides after you fill in the top half of the building with the lime terracotta. We'll punch out 2 sizable windows just above the bottom ones, and then I'm going to fix that 1 piece of oak right there. And of course I'm going to mirror that onto the other side. And then 1 last window. When you get to the side portion here, the chimney will be going up, so we have room for just 1 little one, and we're going to put it right next to the log there with 2 high. And then just fill in the rest of the walls and we'll be moving on. So for the chimney, we're going to replace the cobblestone at the bottom and replace it with the bricks. And we're going to just build up into a square fashion. Of course, this part is very opinionated and based on what you're looking for. It's all aesthetic. And of course, I'm just going to go around and add little bits here and there to give it a little more shape than what I already had. So one last thing for the chimney, we're just going to cut out that square of terracotta on the inside and replace it with spruce wood, or the stripped oak wood rather. And then put an andesite staircase upside down with a slab in front and a campfire behind. So for the rooftop, we're going to use a mixture of andesite staircases, stone staircases, and andesite slabs and stone slabs. All we're going to do is place the staircases straight across the top of the roof. I'm just going to use a solid 1 color for right now. And we're going to give it a bit of an overhang. Now I forgot the overhang on the very front, but I do get to it afterwards, so don't forget to include that as well. And then of course, don't forget to roof up the little part of the building as well, giving it also an overhang. Then one last thing, I placed the birch staircases underneath part of the overhang just to give it a little more support look. And then of course the detailing, I added in the amounts of stone brick staircases, or the stone staircases rather, and stone half slabs to the top of the roof, just to change the color and the texturing a bit. So there's one more little rooftop that we did forget, and that's the very front of the building. We use our staircases again and just build out 1 time over the logs that we placed on the bottom, and then adding some fences instead all the way up and down just to give this shape to the front of the building. And now for the tedious part, the detailing. So I'm going to add some feet. Actually, we're going to add feet around all the logs going straight into the ground around the entirety of the building. But first we're going to start with the front. So I'm going to place the trapdoors and the panes along all the windows on both sides on the top windows, but only on one side on the bottom. Don't forget the bushes. The bushes actually do help hide all the imperfections at the bottom of the building. Give it a little more of something to look at. Then we're going to move on the side, keep putting those feet down, and I think we're going to go ahead and place more bushes here, and then also use some trapdoors just to break up that solid green texture, and an oak fence as well. So continue with the details. We're going to move to the small window here, placing trapdoors on both sides, and then doing a little dirt block here. We're going to put a flower in this spot, but we're going to make some changes as I messed up here. I'm going to put some logs here beside, then continue the feet on the bottom. We're going to break those trapdoors and place in some staircases pointing at the dirt instead, just to fill up the green a bit. Then continue the small wall. We're just going to mirror exactly what we had on the other side, just for decoration. And then the large backside of the wall is pretty simple. It's just going to be bushes, and then we're going to use the oak fences as little lantern posts or holders. And then the windows on the top floor, we're just going to mirror from the front side, but I'm going to add in a little flower pot underneath the right-handed window. Then just above the door I place an upside down staircase, and we're going to use some trapdoors going down like that, just to give them a little more of something to look at, since the back side is a little more plain than the front of the building. Then when it comes to the side window here, we're a little limited on the panes, so what I did is I used an oak fence gate on the top portion of the window with a trapdoor on top, and of course the flower pot underneath. Then we're going to place some flowers there in the bottom and a foot there just to decorate that portion a bit more. So for the interior, or at least the staircase going up, we're going to start in the far corner there, one block out from the wall with a step going up. We're going to keep going up to the cross-section log, and then a floor of your choice again, using birch wood in my case, to fill in the rest of the open space. So for the interior portion underneath, I just filled in underneath the staircases with some stripped oak logs, squared it off a bit, and then added in the terracotta. It took away some space, but it cleaned it up. And there we have it. We are done. Now I hope you guys are enjoying these new videos of mine. Please let me know down in the comment section below, and like or subscribe. It really helps keep me motivated. But I also must thank you guys for sticking around during my absence for the many years that I may come back and do one video and leave. But so far that is not the case, and I'm hoping to stick around a bit longer. So, as always, until next time, see you later.